Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here today. I'm, of course, Gregor Guy, joined here by Casey. And for your viewing pleasure, we will be presenting our next iteration of Banghead STEM. Obviously presented by a different person, but we may talk about that in a future video.
Alright.
So, Casey, I'm going to go ahead and toss it over to you. Right. What are we going to be learning about here today?
So for my first iteration of Banghead STEM, we're going to do black holes and shockwaves in space. And I got a couple different examples here. I'm going to start with, there is two monster black holes heading in a collision that will rock the fabric of space and time. The black holes, together, they share the name PKS 2131021. Not that it's pertinent or that anybody's going to remember that information, but that is what scientists call them.
Okay, for the remainder of this particular video, can we just refer to that one as like PK?
We can call it PKS.
PKS.
The PKs.
PK. Yeah. I'm not going to remember any of those numbers. So.
Nope. I'm going to need you to remember and repeat that back to me.
Oh, you going to quiz me?
Yeah. Right now, do it.
PK. If you told me the other one's like called like pi or something.
Right. Okay. Anyways, these pair of black holes are heading in a collision, and it will occur in approximately 10,000 years from now, unleashing gravitational ripples throughout the universe.
Okay, now, I assume that no one really has any sort of actual clue what will happen when black holes collide. Do they have, any theories?
Well,
or anything?
Black holes in general, they're at the center of every galaxy, and there's examples all around space and including the next example I have that have collided. They turn into super black holes, giant black holes, when the galaxies collide, and then it's just like they call it a soup of galaxies. So basically it's just galaxies all intertwined together, moving around and colliding between each other.
Okay. It's interesting. You said that's going to, take place in what, 10,000 years?
They say about 10,000 years. So we'll be long gone anyways.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
So this is occurring about 9 billion light years away from Earth. So even if when the collision does occur and the shockwaves happen, the shockwaves don't even move at light speed. They move near light speed.
But not quite, so it's still going to take 9 billion years?
Yeah, so it's going to take more than 9 billion years for the shockwaves to even reach this far.
Well, at the same point in time, if there's like any sort of like visual representation of this thing going on, wouldn't it take also 9 billion years for that light, for us to actually be able to see it?
That's possibly true as well. Yeah.
Or is that already factored into this 10,000 year thing that we already know we're 9 billion years behind?
I didn't even think about that.
So maybe it already happened.
That's possible.
Science.
But did the scientists already factor that in, though?
Hey, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah. I didn't even think about the time between us seeing it and it occurring.
Yeah. I mean, that's
I mean, you look at it. You look at it from the scope that whatever we see out there happened, and it's 9 billion years away.
However,
whatever happened 9 billion years
however
ago.
far away it is at the speed of light.
Right.
Because you can't just like instantly see something and
Yep,
light has to travel to the universe.
I did not even factor that into my thinking. That's true. So the scientists assumed that when they looked at it, they couldn't really figure out what they were looking at, and that's because of the direction that it's facing. One of the black holes is facing a stream of particles directly in our direction. So, and they had to assume that the fluctuations were caused by another black. They could see the one black hole. They could see the one area, but they couldn't figure out why it was moving in such a strange direction. And then they couldn't tell that there was another black hole there because the stream of particles. Every black hole, kind of like, you want to think about it like a tornado, right? And the tornado is always shooting stuff out of the top of it, and basically that's what we're seeing. We're seeing from our point of view, like particles flying out of the top of this black hole, and they could only tell just by the strange movements that it was making.
That there were two black holes there.
Right, and they said that they are 2,000. The black holes themselves are 2,000 astronomical units apart, which is basically about 50 times the distance between our sun and Pluto. Which really, if you think about it,
how many times?
About 50 times between the distance of our sun and Pluto. Okay. So if you think about it in the scale of the universe, that is a very short amount of distance.
Yeah.
So these black holes are very close to each other. And by the way, 1 astronomical unit is the distance between the Earth and the Sun. Mm. So we use basically our own measurements when gauging the rest of the universe. I mean, and that's
that sounds like a very what were the motherfuckers called that used to believe that the universe revolved around the Earth instead of, or not the universe, the solar system revolved around the Earth instead of it revolving around the sun.
All of humanity at that time.
I know, but it was like, I want to say it was either Copernicus way of thinking, or they called it something.
Okay.
But I can't remember which astronomer it was.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was called, but I mean, but
either way, it's just basically the balls
right.
of these scientists to think that everything revolves around them.
Well, I think that's just humans in general. That's humankind. Everybody thinks that everything else revolves around them. Many people understand and know that it's not. But if you still don't come through the thinking of that that things happen around me because I have certain actions, then you're kind of at a loss in the first place. You know what I mean?
I got you.
Actions have consequences.
Well said.
All right, so now there's another. Here's the example, and this has happened. Obviously, this has happened before. This is the shockwave section of the stem. There is a wave that's been blasting through space at near light speed for 200 million of years, in a similar fashion to when these two that are going to crash together in about 10,000 years. And this wave is 60 times larger than the Milky Way, 60 times larger than our own galaxy.
Good.
It is right now located about 730 million light years from Earth, so it's still got more than 730 million years before it would ever reach Earth.
Still going to be a little bit.
Right.
It's going to be a minute.
Yeah. I think I'm just going to sit outside on my porch and wait for it to get here, you know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Watch some grass grow and some space waves fly. Alright, and this is called Able 3667.
Is that the name of the shockwave?
This is no, it is a galaxy cluster. This galaxy cluster is, they say it's in chaos. It's composed of 2 clusters or groups of galaxies colliding into one another. The Able 3667 contains more than 550 individual galaxies stirring into one big cosmic gumbo. So it's basically 550 Milky Ways just crashing into each other and stirring around each other. And
sounds a little bit, chaotic.
right.
Glad I'm not there.
I mean, even if you were there, I mean, you'd have to think that in the grand scheme of things, it still takes millions and millions of years for anything to occur in space.
That's fair.
So, according to researchers, the shock first blasted into being about 1 billion years ago. That is when the two galaxy clusters clashed into each other. This shot a wave of electrons into space. The particles tore through the magnetic fields in the region, emitting twin arcs of radio waves. So basically, it looks like a McDonald's sign in space, pretty much, if you want to think about it like that. They found that those radio waves each move at more than 3.3 million miles per hour and are about 13 million light years apart. Each of these arcs are 60 times larger than the Milky Way galaxy, so our own galaxy, and they span about 100,000 light years in diameter. So these are some giant, extremely large arcs of light.
Sound like.
Any comments? That's all I got.
That's all we got.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, this it's probably important for science, but this, has no bearing on my day-to-day life.
Right.
It will not affect me whatsoever.
That's true. I am not a scientist. I probably got something wrong in there. If I got something wrong, go ahead and comment. Let me know.
I do have one question,
right,
which is totally unrelated to what you just, presented. Did you hear about this asteroid that struck Earth that they only detected like 2 hours before it hit?
I mean, I would imagine it would be a pretty small asteroid. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, right, exactly. Right. But I mean, I could see that for like a meteorite or something.
Right. I mean, these things.
But
are
they were
like,
calling this one an asteroid. So I don't know if that is based on size or what.
There is a difference between an asteroid and a meteor. I don't 100% remember what the difference is. I'd have to look it up. I do know asteroids are generally bigger than meteors, as far as I know. I mean, what is the meteor is the one that goes around Earth every 74 years.
You're talking about Halley's Comet.
Okay, so that's a comet.
Yeah.
Okay, so a comet, a meteor, and an asteroid.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I just saw this like literally right before you showed up this morning. I was getting ready to, get a shower and everything. So I just saw the headline. I didn't do any research into the story.
Right. Very interesting. I mean, the most recent one that I heard. I mean, I didn't hear about this one. I don't pay attention to news in general at all. Probably because you just get fed a bunch of bullshit for the most part. But yeah, the one in Russia when it hit and then the light went out and blew up like 150 miles away. It was shattering windows and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Oh man, yeah, I remember that. Now that you mention it,
those are some good videos too. I don't know if you ever seen the videos.
Yeah, I don't know. So maybe we'll have to look into that a little bit more.
Right.
Find out, or figure out exactly what the hell happened.
Right.
But anyway, man, thanks for putting that together, dude. Banghead STEM talked about black holes, swallowing other black holes. Sounds like a good Saturday night. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm of course Greg Guy, depending upon how you know me. Joined here by Casey.
You made it sound like a OnlyFans video there for a second.
Maybe. Ladies and gentlemen out there, thank you for watching.